Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Friday episode.
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the episode where it's nice to have a little bit of pussy on your lap from time to time.
Oh, man. Okay. Right before we started, you said, feel free to make a pussy joke on my lap because of the cat.
I wanted to get you there, like, straight away.
I know, and you were just like, pussy on my lap. Yeah. Well, I don't think that pussy's going to last as long as it normally does.
Hey, we'll find
anyway,
out.
guess what? What? We can now run for president in the United States, Russia, Trinidad and Tobago, and Uruguay.
Holy crap.
Because it's time for 2C3 Pod, the basic film gauge. Leave that pussy low. What movie is that from?
I was going to say, wait, what?
Say goodbye to my wife. I'll say hello to yours.
I have no idea.
Bone Tomahawk, a past recommendation by Dylan. Big fan.
Cool. Yeah, I am. I just haven't seen it since I watched it that one time.
Get out, pussy.
See you, Claude.
Yeah.
For anybody listening...
Sick of these motherfucking pussies on these motherfucking laps.
For anybody listening,
Yes.
my cat was just like in the room leaving fur all over my black shirt and microphone...
We need to
filters.
remember we're a podcast first.
I
We
know.
may record these, but we need to cut visual jokes out.
Yeah.
Except for
But
YouTube.
everybody on YouTube, hello and welcome, and thank you for tuning into Two's Company Three's a podcast, also known as 2C3 Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Go over to those platforms and give us a follow. My name is Dylan, along with my co-host,
Mitchell, and we are here for the Trailer Park.
Trailer Park.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's rip in.
All right, Dilbo back and down the Trailer Park. Oh, yeah. Courtney Joe, bring it over. All right. It's time to rip it and tear it, and I should probably get my notes up.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, first trailer of the week is a really interesting one produced by the Russo brothers, who are obviously famous for Parks and... No, not Park and Rec. What's the other one that they're... Oh, fucking hell.
The Avengers?
No, the other one. Not the movie, the TV show that they did.
Oh, God, I don't know.
Fucking, is it Arrested Development or one of those ones? I don't know.
Anyway. So, just to enlighten the people, if this is your first time listening, Trailer Park is where we review the freshest trailers from the week.
Yeah.
So, let's get into it, shall we?
I fucked that up so bad.
Anyway, we're speaking of big dicks.
Yeah.
All right, the first one off the bat this week is 21 Bridges. Now, this one has already had an international release elsewhere, of course. Australia's just behind the curveball, as per normal, but produced by the Russo brothers, who directed the last two Avengers films and the Captain America films, comes the definitely not a superhero movie starring Chadwick Boseman as a New York police detective tasked with hunting down cop killers. Looks awesome and seems like it's going to tell an amazing story. Also starring Sienna Miller, Taylor Kitsch, if I'm saying that correctly, and J.K. Simmons. Did I mention this is definitely not a superhero movie?
Yeah.
Coming November 21st in Australia and, of course, already out internationally.
This trailer is very intriguing because I really like the story, and the idea of 21 Bridges is that if you watch the trailer, he's essentially ordering Manhattan police to close the 21 bridges that lead into this island of Manhattan.
Yes, I was going to say.
Which means there's going to be a massive manhunt sort of taking place in here. And I really like Chadwick Boseman. I've only seen him in Black Panther, and I'm not really a fan of that movie. But I like the idea of him stepping out of that sort of superhero niche and, trying something else. And obviously the Russo brothers
of course.
are going to pick someone like him from the films that they're familiar with.
No, of course, but they can obviously see the potential of him being a lead outside of that kind of role, you know? And he has done things outside of that. Let's not be ignorant about that. But
that's correct, yeah.
But this seems like a story that was really, it seems like it suits his personality. It suits him as a person. So that has me very excited for that. But I just love the idea that Manhattan being the island, they can shut down the 21 bridges, the subway stations as well, which they mention as well. And they've only got until I think 5 a.m. or something, and that's when the whole city will explode if they can't have things coming in and out because of work and functions and things like that.
Yeah.
So they've got this limited time for him to track down these cop killers, because I think in the trailer there's 8 dead cops. As it's can't
quite remember,
the moment, but and the reason he's so attached to this is because his father, who was also a policeman, died when he was a young boy. Yeah. So he's always had that in there. I've got to avenge my father. And every time he sees a dead cop, it's his father, that kind of thing. So it seems like a really amazing story.
I really like on the poster to the film, how posters normally have a little quote or a saying, I really like the one in here. It says, the only way out is through him.
Oh, that's such a Liam Neeson quote.
That's what I mean. And that's the kind of vibe that this movie gives off.
It's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger quote from a terrible 80s movie or something.
Yeah, the only way out is through me. Something like that. So
right.
As we said, the cast is really cool.
Yes,
very surprising, but very cool. Keith David is also in this film.
I love Keith David.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't mention him earlier because I would assume
I had him on the list, but I was just. Just 3 names. That's all I thought I mentioned. But the movie looks really good. The actors, in this film are really good, and the producers obviously know their shit. So I'm very much looking forward to this on a grand scale, and obviously personally, this is going to be a big summer blowout. Yes, well, this is not a big summer blunder for me because I absolutely agree. Yeah, every point I can see this being financially a success because it's just an interesting story, but the names behind it, the producers behind it, everything about this seems like it's got a great direction and film writing.
Yep.
Man. Yep, big summer blowout, 100%.
Cool.
All right, take it away.
Alrighty, speaking of big summer blowouts, which is an obvious blowout because of the cast list and the story and the fact that this is a sequel to a previously big summer blowout.
That's right, 100%.
Jumanji, the next level. Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and Jack Black return for the sequel to the smash hit remake of Jumanji. It's not really a remake, Mitch. Thanks for those notes.
No. All right, continue on.
I said, all the regular...
You said it.
God damn it, you're lining me up. All the regular expected hijinks from the original, but this time a couple of old fellas get sucked into the game, played by none other than Danny Glover and Danny DeVito. Also stars a Jonas brother and Rhys Darby, coming December 26th in Australia.
Yes, that's right.
So when, obviously, the Jumanji, the first one, came out, the promo leading up to it... people were a bit like, it's typical Hollywood rebooting and remaking things that we love. But, obviously, it's not really, I wouldn't say it's a remake. I would say it's set within the same universe. It's just a different version of the game that's set within that universe.
It is, but for the sake of just a film being made, it's a remake.
Yeah.
I mean, this film wouldn't exist without that one.
No, that's correct.
So
obviously, the original Jumanji starring the late Robin Williams was a brilliant, fantastic film on its own. And it was a very different film. But Jumanji that came out a few years ago was a surprise hit. It was really good, and it didn't disrespect the original in any way, I didn't feel.
That was the thing that I was worried about. It tarnishing that legacy, putting a bad taste in people's mouths.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. A standalone. Nothing to do... there was little tiny Easter eggs. Yeah. Very lightly sprinkled in there, but new concept for it, new way to do it. Completely different idea and all that.
The fact that they're sucked in and they become characters in a video game-esque with non-player characters, NPCs, was really fascinating.
Not only that, but you see them in the game.
Yeah.
The story of the original Jumanji is he gets sucked in and then just, 26, 30 years later or whatever it is, comes out. And the story is him readjusting to life as an old guy, it had nothing to do with him in that world.
That's correct.
So that's where this one, for me, it doesn't slap the other one in the face.
No, that's correct.
So no, I'm very excited for this one because I very much enjoyed Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, that's what it was called. Yeah.
Yes.
But the next level, I watched the trailer before you turn up for this evening for recording this Friday episode, and I obviously Danny DeVito, I'm a huge fan of Danny DeVito from the films that he was making in the 90s. He was obviously in Batman Returns. He was in Twins.
I was about to say Twins. You got to mention Twins, man.
Some of his earlier work I feel was really, really good, but I haven't really kept up with him much lately. I know he was in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think he spent almost 10 years making that show with Charlie Day.
But he's still hilarious and he's still very talented. And Danny Glover, I've been a fan of his since Predator 2.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird that
I just love Lethal Weapon, man.
And Lethal Weapon was brilliant, but for me it was Predator that made me a fan of Danny Glover. And the characters that they play. So essentially the story when they get sucked into Jumanji, The Rock is essentially Danny DeVito and Danny Glover turns into Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Kevin Hart.
Hey, Claude.
Hey, Claude.
I'm going to acknowledge it every time.
I'm really looking forward to Kevin Hart playing Danny Glover. Yeah. Because he's like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, he plays that kind of old dude.
Exactly. I think that's the most fascinating thing. And I had to put them in the description, Danny DeVito and Danny Glover. Yeah. I had to put them in the description, but let's be honest, they're going to be in the movie for about 5 minutes.
You reckon?
Because they get sucked in and then are played by The Rock and Kevin Hart.
Oh, you mean those actors?
Yeah, sorry. Of course. But that's the part that I'm excited for, is seeing The Rock act like an old little man and seeing Kevin Hart act like an old Danny Glover.
That's correct, yeah.
There's a fantastic fucking line about The Rock looking in the reflection and saying, like, as in my eyes are a different color, and he's like,
and you are
the whole thing. All of you's a different color.
Yeah,
like,
so there's those kind of jokes which I'm really looking forward to. Like, I'm not really a huge fan of unnatural comedy, but this movie I think will pull it off quite well.
That's the thing. I think you and I have discussed. Like, is it? Oh my god, that's not good. Is it still good?
Still recording.
It's still good. All right, that pussy man, it getting away. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Save me, bro.
Okay, so the cat walked across the computer, and we thought that it stopped recording.
Just completely threw me off.
Yeah,
but
we're good.
Yes, we are good. Jumanji: The Next Level. It's good.
It looks really good, and I think it'll be a big summer blowout.
I was saying something, and I've lost that completely. But yes, big summer blowout, 100% financially. We know this is going to fucking crush it at the box office.
Yeah.
You got the Moneymaker Rock in there. Oh, I was going to say, I think you and I have both discussed that Kevin Hart, we're not that fond of when he plays that over the top. Oh my God, I'm the black guy. Yes, exactly.
He played very specifically,
full
stereotypically.
credit to him. He has his market and he is very successful at what he does. But there's been particular movies where he's toned that down and played a person. Yes. A relatable person. This, even though he is a bit over the top, I can deal with it.
Is it not another teen movie where he literally plays the stereotypical black guy? I'm pretty sure that was... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is the guy. I was like, holy shit, like he started out.
Is he?
Is it that movie or is it a different one?
But he was definitely in one. I'm not sure.
One of those earlier movies where the stereotypes were like
there was 40-year-old virgin. He played the customer in the store.
That's correct.
Like, you trying to fuck with me? Like that kind of, no. But anyway,
Jumanji: The Next Level looks really good.
Big summer blowout.
Big summer blowout. I really like the cast. I've always been a fan of Jack Black. You know, like
Karen Gillan,
of course. Yes, who is Nebula in the Avengers and all that.
Yes.
She's really good. So you want to take the next one?
Oh, can't wait. The Photograph. The story of... Did you watch this one?
Yes. And every time we have a list of trailers, I go, I look through the names of the films and I go, yes. And then I watch all of the trailers and go, oh, that looks interesting.
Yep.
And I actually personally felt this one was really interesting as well.
Yeah, okay.
I'll let you read it out.
The story of two young adults and their love story. It intertwines between the past and the present and a woman's discovery that she's basically living the same love story as her mother, as told by the photographs her mother took. And that's basically it. Not surprisingly, coming Valentine's Day 2020.
Yeah. Now, the story essentially, as you've mentioned, that the woman is concerned that she's living the same love story that her mother did, and there's reasons why her mother is no longer around, and she was too committed to her work, but
she never communicated with her daughter, so
that's
all
correct.
She has left of her is her photographs.
But essentially the story is her realizing that she's following this footpath, and the partner in this sense and her are trying to figure out their own way through rather than following carbon copy of her mother's footsteps.
100%.
I feel obviously this isn't going to be a big summer blowout on the scheme of where, this is going to take over our movie viewing above something like Jumanji or fucking the next MCU film or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued by the story. It looks real emotional, real human. So I'm looking forward to this one, man. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, no, I see exactly what you mean, and I could be completely wrong, but I feel like there's part of me that just feels like this is forced.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah.
Like, it doesn't have cliche Valentine's Day movie written all over it because it's not star-studded, Like, it's not one of those ones, like one of those, like Valentine's Day, that stupid friggin' film, from years ago. But to me, I don't know, it just kind of feels like I've seen a story like this before.
Oh,
it just seems almost cliche, like all they've done is just change the culture.
Yeah, okay, because this is very, very heavily cultured in terms of like the African American.
No, that's right. And that's not a slight on that at all, of course. But it just, I don't know. It just seems like in Australia in particular, it won't have the market.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Big summer blunder in that sense. But personally as well, I feel like this one might be it might be masked as a very dramatic, artsy film, but it's just not up to par.
Okay.
So personally, I feel like big summer blunder as well.
That's actually a good point. I think you've put a little bit more thought into this than what I have.
I definitely have. Yes. Pull your finger out, please.
I saw the trailer and I see the idea that they're going for. Yeah. And I will admit that I am a fan of well-written love stories, romance, comedies,
of course.
Things like
We've discussed it many a time.
Yeah, so I think I'm interested in watching this. Whether it'll be a big summer blowout on the grand scheme of things, most likely not.
Yeah.
But me personally, I do think I'll check this one out. So it's called The Photograph if you're into whatever we just discussed.
Hey, it would be great if you guys actually went and checked out the trailers as well and gave us some feedback on what you thought.
Yeah, send us an email to twoscompany3podcast@gmail.com or hit us up on our socials over there.
Yes, right here. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Dilbo, I believe you are next.
This film is called Little Joe. Have you ever wondered how amazing it would be if a plant could affect your mood? Turn the most depressed person happy with just the smell of its pollen? Well, look no further. Little Joe is a film for you. It follows a team of scientists working on the world's first happy plants. But oh no, maybe it's not as easy as they thought. Insert evil laugh.
He did it. He did.
Another film festival film coming to the US December 6th. No release date for Australia as of yet. This is an interesting trailer.
Very intriguing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It gives you thriller vibes that something isn't quite as it seems, and it's going to be very unpredictable. As we just described, it's about a happy plant, but when you watch the trailer, it seems like scientists are developing a happy plant. In that sense, when you have these plants in your vicinity and you're just like breathing in the oxygen that they're giving off and breathing in the pollen, it'll literally change your mood. It's like an antidepressant which you don't have to inject or don't have to take in terms of pill form. Which in turn, if that was a real concept, the entire world would fucking go mad.
Oh my God. Could you imagine that?
Nobody would have natural emotions and natural reactions.
I can imagine the friggin' hippies going, you can't change my mood with those chemicals in that flower and altering my personality.
Yeah, that speaking of hippies that all smoke weed and do that anyway.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I don't put chemicals in my body. Give me that random drug, stranger. Thank you.
Exactly, yeah.
Logic. But speaking of big dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intriguing because it does, like you said, it has that thrillerish vibe.
Yes.
But there was one thing that in the trailer that really I thought they should have hammered home a little bit more, and maybe they can't because that's not what the concept is. But to me, once things start to go awry and they realize things are strange, the people who it's affecting in the not making happy way, I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I think that's where it's leaving the intrigue.
No, I know, but as in this kind of thing, as in the first half of the trailer is gearing up for all of a sudden a fucking psychotic horror movie.
Yeah,
as in that's how it's being geared up and the music's tense and all that. But they're just kind of confused. I don't know, as in I couldn't figure out what. I
think the trailer is intriguing you exactly the way it intends.
No. Yes, 100%. But if they showed me that they go psychotic. If they go nutso, if they try and start killing people or forcing them to smell the flower, I'd be even more intrigued to see it.
Okay. Listen, I get that, but then there's also the coin of the flip of the coin where you go, if they did show that, it'll probably show too much. And it will take away that mystery and intrigue. And that's what's so successful with horror is that when they don't reveal the monster or the problem straight away, it leaves you intrigued.
No, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is this a horror?
Well, that's what the trailer. Listen, all I can say is all of your questions to me is confirming exactly what the trailer is trying to do, and it's trying to leave it open-ended and intriguing.
Yeah, I get that, but
I get it, man. I get it. I'm just saying.
I completely get it. But if this is a horror, I want to know because I'm in. I'm in on these happy plants making people turn into almost a cult, as in come smell with us or something like that. Exactly. Yeah, smell the pollen, take it in your nostril. I'm all in on that if they turn horror and force people to by cutting off an arm and stuff like that. No, I don't know. These flower sniffers are weird ones, but they literally, it was just it's just not working right. Oh, have you noticed it in Daryl? Oh yeah, Daryl seems sick. Oh, yeah. Little Joe, come and sit. I'm like, what's wrong with Daryl? But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Because I don't know, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to go out of my way to see this.
Okay.
Unless I know that there's some psychotic drama.
I think that comes from the fact that you're a horror fan and you're a slasher fan most prominently.
Plus Little Joe, there was Killer Joe a few years back, so they're just copying, That was about flowers too.
Was it?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, I have no idea. I don't know. Listen, this trailer is really intriguing to me, and I think because it does leave it open-ended and doesn't answer those questions like as you said it does, for me, that leaves it really intriguing. And fair enough, I like my horror slasher films, but I think I prefer, I wouldn't like to say intellectual, but I think I like my open-ended thrillers a little bit more.
No, I get that. I get that. And
so it's very much a particular film.
Yes,
You've got to have a particular taste.
That's right, and that's where my love of films like Seven and Saw and The Machinist come into it. Like those are the ones that play with you a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is playing with me. But again, it's also got the very visual, like you mentioned in the description, film festival.
Yes.
It does look indie and low budget. I'm not going to spend my time on it if I know there's not some kind of awesome payoff, because they could just be dancing around the drama of the flowers not working. Oh, he's gone a bit sick, my son smelled it.
So you're saying they could be drawing you in by playing it off that this may be a thriller and it may go completely different and you're not going to enjoy it. Okay.
Yes, I feel like this could end up just having a fucking message at the end saying, save the planet. Use solar or some shit.
Produced by Greta Thunberg.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. All right, so I'm going to give this a big summer blur because I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I want to see it if they say, oh, by the way, there's some blood at the end.
Cha-ching.
I mean, you know, but if they say, oh, by the way, there's a good message at the end, I'm like, fuck off.
Simple as I hate it when shit leaves a positive message like that, because I'm here to watch a film. I'm like, I don't come here to, I come to these films to escape reality.
I don't come here to learn, motherfucker. So, at the moment, big summer bleh.
Okay. No, I'll give it that as well.
A third rating.
Little Joe is a film about, happy plants.
I do recommend checking out the trailer because it is a very interesting concept. Yes. And I am greatly intrigued, but should I be intrigued for the right reasons? I don't know.
Fair enough. Anyway, Mitchell, it's time for your double wide of the week, man.
That's right. This is the one that I take around the trailer park and I show all my neighbors. Ho, look at this, Bessie Sue. I got myself a double wide. This is the pick of the week. All right. And we have The Banker. Set in 1954, Anthony Mackie stars as an ambitious real estate mogul trying to be the first African-American banker. When he can't do it as a black man, he and his investor, played by Samuel L. Jackson, enlist the help of Nicholas Hoult to be the face of their enterprise. Looks insanely funny, witty, and dramatic. Yep. Seems real and hard-hitting. Release coming in America on the 6th of December, but nothing here yet, and it's an Apple original film.
Okay.
So, hey, who knows when we'll see it.
If it's an Apple original film, and I will assume that it's coming to Apple TV Plus, Apple Plus TV,
yes,
whatever.
But there was no, as we've noted in previous weeks, they'll say, in select cinemas, 6th of December, on the service, 16th of December, or something like that. There was none mention of that, so I feel like this is actually going to have a theatrical run. Yeah, okay. We just haven't got it here yet. Yeah. Event Cinemas Glendale, we love you. We see you every week. Please, give us all the movies. God damn it. Maybe not Little Joe, but
Samuel L. Jackson and Anthony Mackie have a great chemistry in this trailer. Like, obviously, them two are skilled and seasoned actors, and they know exactly what they're doing. And Nicholas Hoult as well. They're all talented actors, and I think they all play off each other really well. But I really like the concept where this. It's set in a time where, African American, Black Americans or just black people across the world weren't given that equal opportunity to white folk.
To put it bluntly, they were still seen as a problem. The Negroes, they were still a problem. They weren't members of society. Yeah, like they mentioned in the trailer, they could never normally get into. They literally have to dress themselves up to get into the bank that they own as a limo driver and a janitor. Just to get inside. They have to be the help.
Yeah. So it tells that I wouldn't say it's necessarily a heist film, but it's definitely a business sort of sense film in that kind of.
They're doing the sneaky on the system because the system's broken and wrong.
And this is based on a true story, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fascinating story. And it seems like, and like you said about their chemistry, it's really cool seeing Samuel L. Jackson not play the straight man. Yes. He's like the comedic, he's got some one-liners in there. Anthony Mackie is the straight up and down. Yeah. He's the serious one here. And that dynamic I'm fully on board with. Yeah. But then they chuck Nicholas Hoult in the mix. Yeah. And it just looks like it's going to be a blast. But also, like I said, very hard-hitting because it's touching on those real issues that happened 50, 60 years ago. Yeah. It's
essentially the story of building up black folk in America and how they can become equals, or not necessarily superior, but equal to society in having good jobs and wealth and respect.
That's right.
So essentially, the character of Anthony Mackie's character, whatever his name is, let's have a look, Bernard, is essentially he's moved to a particular area in America and he wants to he wants to get a career in real estate. Yeah. He obviously gets the help of Samuel L. Jackson, who is a wealthier man. But he knows his ropes and he knows how to get get things done, and they work together to build their empire.
That's
essentially.
right. Yeah,
So-
and that tone is set right from the beginning.
Yeah.
When he lays this plan out for him, and Samuel L. Jackson says, "Oh, there's just one problem. I still woke up black this morning." You know, like, as in, that's the
correct,
opening line to set the tone of that kind of error and what they were dealing with, what kind of issues they were dealing with. So it's just great. And then I feel like this is going to have some real hard-hitting moments, particularly later in the trailer where you see the FBI arrest them for basically doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
They defrauded, like, the being able to purchase these by using Nicholas Hoult as the face.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the same time, it's literally because you blacks can't buy this stuff.
Yes.
Like, that's what
correct.
it comes down to.
So it's very much a political statement, essentially, but it's obviously telling a real story. And fair enough, obviously, these kind of based on true events are dramatized, dramatized, whatever the word is, like played up for cinema. But I think like these films are still relevant. Yeah. These stories are still very interesting and intriguing, especially in this day and age. So I feel like this is going to be a big summer blowout.
Big summer blowout all around. The thing that I'm most curious about, now we've seen Apple TV come along with a few things now. They've had that Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, Reese Witherspoon's show.
Yep.
They also just had, like, I think 3 episodes of aired of Jason Momoa's C as an Apple original. I think this is one of their first Apple original films that's coming to theaters, and they seem to intend it to actually have a theatrical run. Now we get to see what Apple TV's got in the bank. We know what Netflix can do with theater films. Now I get to see what Apple TV can do. And if this is like kickstarting them as an actual force behind cinema. Yeah. I am on not board, just another
streaming services. But I've heard nothing but great things about Apple TV Plus productions. Apparently they spare no expense. And
of course they've got all the expense, you know?
Yeah. So
they're not a black man in 1954 trying to buy a bank. They got the money.
They got the money.
Yeah. So this is really going to test the waters for me. Is it worth getting Apple TV Plus?
Yeah.
Because if they're going to bring out productions like this and try and compete with Netflix, they might get my, what is it, $9 a month for us, I think, in Australia?
I don't know. Yeah. Go back to one of our episodes where we talk about it.
That's right. Archives available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and, of course, YouTube. I missed that timing. Sorry. Big summer blowout. Yes.
So The Banker looks really intriguing, coming out later this year. And
I would love to see it in the theaters.
Yes, very much so. This is
very much with The Irishman, which I guess we're not getting.
I don't think we're getting it.
I don't think we're fucking getting it. Thanks, Event Cinemas Glendale. Hoyts, if you're listening, hit us up. Get The Irishman.
Anyway, that's Trailer Park for the week, Mitchell. That's going to be a big summer blowout from me and from you, The Banker. Check out the trailer. It looks really good. Leave your thoughts below as to what you think is going to be a big summer blowout or a big summer blunder.
Tell me whether or not Little Joe's going to be fucking worth it, please. Please, because I'm so confused.
Yes,
but...
Anyway...
Are you going to do it? Come on, man.
What? Yeah, I will. But I'm just saying, this is the end of...
of Trailer Park. All right. We'll see you next week, next Friday, for TCTP.
Alrighty. Now it's time for...
What the fuck? Oh. Coming at you fresh, coming from afar, it's TCTP, DTCR. What the fuck?
That was my surprise for you this week.
That's the surprise, and that was so worth it, man. Oh, man. And this was the one week where I'm like, I'm going to fuck with him. When he hits that beat, I'm going to come in with Mom Spaghetti.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to come in with some M&M, but hey, damn, man. Well done. That's awesome,
well, guess what? I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah, you really did. Oh,
this week on TCTP DTC.
Do you have it written down?
No, I don't.
Oh, you sneaky bastard.
Anyway, do you want to hear that again?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do it again. Coming at you fresh, coming from afar, it's TCTP DTCR. Oh, I love that. That's
this week, last week, we went to see the latest kind of not hit film, Terminator Dark Fate.
Ooh, ominous.
Yeah. Now, me personally, as we've established over the past however many months we've been doing this podcast, I'm a huge fan of futuristic...
I think we're pushing 6, man.
Yeah.
I really do think we're pushing 6. Thanks for sticking around.
I'm a huge fan of futuristic science fiction, action, horror films, essentially. And Terminator is a series I've been a huge fan of for a very, very long time.
Very much so.
Terminator Dark Fate is essentially telling a story which supposedly is a direct sequel to Terminator 2, yet it does have a lot of elements from the other sequels in the series within this film.
But
before we get into the story and our review discussion, essentially, what was your thoughts being a not as much of a Terminator fan
now
as me.
I have seen them all. I've seen Terminator a few times. I've seen T2 a few more times.
Yep.
I've seen Rise of the Machines maybe once.
Okay.
I can't even remember it.
Yeah.
I've seen Genesis. Is that the... Yeah? I've seen Genesis once at the theaters.
Yep.
Can't really remember it.
That was the one prior to this.
Yes, exactly.
But Terminator Salvation.
If they're doing the cliche Hollywood, which there seems to be 4 of a year now, and cutting that out and forgetting it forever kind of thing.
Yep.
Going off this... man, okay. So my immediate thought, I've seen this before.
Yes.
Like, I almost everything in this movie, I was like, this is the same story.
And you know where you've seen this before?
T2.
In Terminator 2 and in Terminator Genesis.
Yeah.
This is essentially... They say that they're retconning, the sequels, like Terminator 3, 4, and 5. But essentially, listen, I enjoyed Terminator Genesis for what it was. It's not a great film, and it's not a great sequel to the series, and the casting was way off.
Through it.
Yeah, but I've bought it and I've watched it several times going, like, this is a fun action movie and I like the idea of an older Terminator, but this does a lot of similar things, but so much worse. There are some great things in this movie. I don't think this is an objectively bad film in the way that it has great action sequences, the casting is really good and it's shot really well. It's the story that lets me down big time.
Yes, 100%. I feel like this obviously had the budget. This was obviously acted well.
This was a $180 million film,
yeah,
I believe.
I would have pegged around 200 or so that sounds exactly right. And you can see it. You can see it. Production values are fantastic. The acting, there is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But it's just the story, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it comes down to. And I'm glad that I had the same views as you, being a hardcore fan. But that's exactly what I picked up as a casual fan of the Terminator series. I'm like, this is the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And there really didn't seem to be any sense of danger because, as with almost all the Terminators, it's all good at the end. Like,
that's right.
There was never any sense of like, oh, they're not gonna end this on an apocalypse,
Yeah. Listen, like, all right. So to set the scale, essentially, Terminator 1 came out in 1984. That essentially, as I mentioned in our episodes last week, but now we get to talk about it in more depth, being our review of this film. Terminator 1 is my personal favorite in the series because it is a lower budget,
it pushes the limits,
slasher film. It's a science fiction horror film, and there's this ever present feeling of dread and doom in this, where this fucking unstoppable horror machine will kill and kill and kill and blow away an entire police station of coppers to complete his mission. Terminator 2 obviously had a lot of similar elements, but it was more toned down in terms of like the tone. It was upbeat and a bit more for wider audiences. It's up the ante in so many different ways, and it was a massive, massive success.
Oh, big time.
And that film itself is brilliant.
Absolutely. But Jimmy Cameron.
Yeah. Well, he wrote and directed Terminator 1. This is his baby.
Yeah. But this was him like announcing himself almost as like a big deal.
That's correct. The problem that all of the other Terminator films have is that apart from Terminator Salvation, that's the one where it's the future war and they actually tried to show.
Wait, was there one that I missed?
So there was Terminator 1, 2, 3.
Rise of the Machines?
Yep. And then there was Christian Bale's.
Genesis?
No. Genesis.
Oh, what's Genesis?
Which one are you? So Genesis.
Is Genesis a game?
No, Terminator Genesis was the one prior to this in 2016 where Arnold Schwarzenegger is the older T-800.
Oh, shit, I haven't seen that. I didn't know that existed.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So Terminator Salvation
news.
Terminator Salvation was set in the same continuity as the first 3 films, and it was set in the future war. And I think like that film, I feel like cinematically is really good. Like a lot of people will disagree with me, but I think like the Terminators themselves looked really cool. The world was cool, but there was just a lot of downtime, which people felt a bit boring.
Yes.
But I personally really enjoyed it. But the problem with Terminator 3, Terminator Genesis, and Terminator Dark Fate is that they all follow the same story elements that Terminator 2 did, which means there was a protector of the future, whether it be John Connor or this new Danny character. A evil Terminator was sent back in time through Skynet, or in this case, because it's an alternative timeline, Legion.
Yes.
And also a protector Terminator is also sent back to protect this person against it. And it's always like a more dangerous version is sent back to kill, and a lesser version is sent to protect. Somehow the lesser version Terminator or
always
robot
wins.
always comes out on top. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is that they're trying to redo the one that was successful.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why people are sick of this franchise and sick of these retreads of the same film they've seen 100 times before.
No, that's right. And I feel like, okay, so if we're using another modern example of this eliminating past sequels and just saying it's a direct sequel, Halloween at the end of last year.
Yep.
See, that worked.
Yeah.
And they followed the same formula.
Yes.
Why is horror different to now action?
Well,
why is that okay? And it turned out to be a pretty damn good film.
Yeah.
But then this comes out and it's just boring.
You know why I think this could have worked in the same vein as the Halloween reboot of a sequel?
Yes, yep.
Is if they turned this into a horror film and went back to Terminator 1. Now, I've got it written in my notes here that I think this movie... All right, so speculation... I've got to read this word for word. I wrote this on the way home from the gym this afternoon. Speculation says that this is the last Terminator film they'll ever make because the box office... This movie is bombing hard. If this is ever to come back, give it to Jason Blum.
Oh, okay.
Give the franchise to Jason Blum. This franchise needs to stop making Terminator 2 again and go back to Terminator 1.
Yes.
That film is brilliant. And it's a lower scale, it's a smaller budget, and it's terrifying.
You don't need all those effects that they had. You don't need huge green screen effects and CGI and all that.
You need a person who is in great danger, who's had this haunting
being
presence.
hunted.
Yeah, by this unstoppable, unthinkable killing machine.
Yes.
Terminator Dark Fate does the same that Terminator Genesis does, where the T-800, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is not only the comic relief of the film, which is, but he also develops what he considers some kind of conscience, when in reality, robots, unlike human beings, they cannot grow, they cannot expand because they are limited to the capacity that they are built.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what really killed it for me. But my standout for this film is Linda Hamilton.
Man,
as Sarah Connor.
Still got it, man.
Fair enough, this movie was dumb and the story is shit. I think she, as Sarah Connor, was fucking brilliant.
She basically is the same character. Like, it's not like she had to turn on an acting button to do it. It's like she is Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
Like, she really was phenomenal.
As many story flaws as this film had, I think her as this character was really,
Now, I really want
good.
to discuss the opening scene.
All right, so from here on out, that's been our review. Terminator Dark Fate's pretty rubbish, but it's got some good moments. Spoilers.
Yeah, but
from here on out.
I know it's a spoiler because it's in the movie, but it's literally the first 2 minutes.
Okay, so I've got a lot of things I want to say about this film, which is going spoiler territory.
Why not? We've never done this before, but yes, from this point on, there will be spoilers. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go and have a look at the movie. Come back and hear what we have to say. But Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Big Summer Blowout, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thanks for tuning in. Now, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert for Terminator Dark Fate.
The opening scene.
Yes.
Okay. Was that amazing de-aging when Arnie fucking murdered John Connor?
Yes.
As Edward Furlong. Did he get a credit for that?
Edward Furlong did.
He did?
Yes.
Because that was amazing.
Yes.
That looked legit, man.
That looked really
young
good.
Arnie as the young T-800?
T-800, yes.
Yep. And Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor, looking that young, and then murders amazingly looking young Edward Furlong.
Yeah, so I found that
awesome.
I found that kid on Instagram, and he, without the de-aging effects, looks like a young John Connor. They didn't really need to do anything to that.
So they just kind of tweaked it a little bit, added the CGI a little bit to put Edward Furlong young. Yeah.
But for me, so the opening scene where they're on a beach after the events of Terminator 2, where another T-800 pops out of nowhere and just blows John Connor away. Fair enough, this is supposed to be the sequel to Terminator 2, but that really undoes everything that Terminator 2 does.
Yeah.
It punches you right in the face. Yeah. But that's also my my favorite and least favorite part of the movie. Reason being, that could have led into a brilliant story. And what I'm going to say is going to be a massive spoiler. So I've got it written here, and I'm going to read it word for word.
Before you do that, I just want to say, I completely forgot what I was going to say. So, carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So in this film, they do essentially save humanity.
Yes.
And now there's an alternative future, which is where this Terminator Rev 9 comes back from, but there's a new future...
Legion?
Yeah. There's a new future warrior which leads
to...
No, I'm talking about the leader of the resistance.
Oh, my
it's
apologies.
no longer John Connor. It's now this Danny character.
Yes.
Which is obviously... They literally say in the film, oh, you're the new John Connor. I think... if they're going to follow the same route of killing John Connor in the opening moments, what I think this movie should have been, get rid of the Danny character. Yeah. Get rid of the new alternative John Connor. Okay, so this is what I've got here. What I think of this movie should have been, get rid of the Danny character because this is their way of making alternative John Connor to an alternative universe. Make the film that John Connor was killed and the new leader who inspired millions all over the world, who the Terminator was actually sent back for, Sarah Connor. Make her the leader of the resistance because augmented human sent back to protect Sarah Connor in her and lead her to the Terminator which killed John Connor. So in this movie, the older T-800 played by Arnold Schwarzenegger is the one who killed John Connor. That story element can still be there, but get rid of this whole idea that he developed a conscience because that's dumb and that he becomes this Carl character. Absolutely. He felt bad about it. He fucking what did he do? Curtains? He was drapes. Drapes. He was a drape guy. What the fuck? Yeah. If he was if all of the T-800s that Skynet would have sent back to finish the job, they would have all done the same thing. They're programmed to learn and develop conscience, well, war over. They fucked up. Exactly. So, let's say, for example, he killed John Connor. He powers down and he's just existing on the planet somewhere as a out-of-battery Terminator. He's dormant. Let's say, for example, in Terminator 2, Sarah Connor knows how to reprogram a Terminator because she literally does that in Terminator 2. Yes. Let's say, for example, the Mackenzie Davis's character comes back to protect Sarah Connor. Yes. Yep. They find this dormant Terminator who has aged, but he's just powered down, reprogram him to help Sarah Connor and this new augmented human against the Rev-9 or some other threat. Yeah. That's where I would have gone with this. Hollywood. Don't worry about Danny being the new savior of the universe or savior of the world. Leave it up to Sarah Connor. One big thing that really pissed me off with that is old mate who came back to help. I can't remember her name. Mackenzie Davis. Yes. Yeah, I thought she was good. No, she was good. Yeah, I've got no problem with the acting in this movie at all. Yeah. But she says that she comes from 2042, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, 2042 or so. So about like 20 years in the future. When they cut to the future scenes as Danny after she's like revealed as the big heroic leader of the resistance, she's literally the same fucking age. And she's talking to a kid, Mackenzie Davis. Yeah. I'm sorry, but like that could have been filmed differently. That could have just... if you're going with that and you're going to tell me that there's like jump cuts to 20 years later starting the resistance or being the resistance, blah, 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 don't tell me she's exactly the same physically. Like that, I mean, you just had awesome de-aging CGI in the opening scene, but you can't. You just have her put some dirt on her face. Not only that, too. I'm sorry, but the transition, it's basic. The transition of the physicality from Sarah Connor from Terminator 1 to 2. Yeah, like she was like a waitress, a young waitress, unfit. Yeah, pretty average kind of physique. Terminator 2, she was this hardened warrior. That's someone you can buy as the leader of the resistance if her son didn't make it. That's what I'm saying this alternative sort of story could have been. This Danny character, they could have had a different actor play her or maybe de-aged her, maybe made her a bit taller, a bit more gruffer. Yeah, but exactly. No, that's right. So. And, there's a lot of flaws in this movie, but I mean, okay, all right. Highlight of the film. Highlight of the film, as I mentioned, the opening scenes. That's mine too. So the opening scenes could have led... Do you remember what we said when we were sitting there watching it? That movie ended it, and I'm pretty sure you turned to me and said, I wish it ended now. Because we just knew it was going to be shit and all downhill. And 100%, that opening scene happens, it's like, whoa. Yeah. Like a big shock and awe straight off the bat. Yeah. And then everything else is just happens. Yeah. Like, obviously, killing John Connor is a slap into the face of Terminator 1 and 2. Big time. But if they directed the rest of the movie in the way that I said it could have, I think it would have made a much better story. I feel like they could. That's why it's the best and worst, because it's the worst because it led to the story that happened. I feel like the best because it could have been so much better. I feel like that might have been a lot of Hollywood producers not having faith in Linda Hamilton and Arnie basically leading the movie the whole time. They need these young upstarts in there, Mackenzie Davis and whoever played Danny. I apologize. I don't know her name. Yeah. Oh, it's right here. I still would Natalia Reyes. I still would have been happy as Mackenzie Davis's augmented human to come back to protect Sarah Connor. Yeah. Just get rid of the Danny character. There's no need for another John Connor. That's pointless, and it undermines everything that we learned about Linda Hamilton's character as Sarah Connor in the... Anyway. 100%. But I will say as well, you mentioned it as well, Arnie's character as the T-800, learning the conscience and blah, 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 and helping Sarah Connor. Yeah.
with the text messages and the fucking latitude, longitude, the locations to go. I just felt like that was all like, oh, we need a reason. We need an excuse, and it was just kind of penciled in, and it just felt so fucking weird.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger played an aged T-800 in the previous movie Genesis. He played what they called the Guardian. And Sarah Connor in that movie called
Holy shit, I have seen that.
Yeah.
I went to the movies and saw that.
Yeah.
That's how forgettable it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he played an aged Terminator who was called Pops, but only because that's what she called him.
Yeah.
Because in that movie, he was basically her dad. But he didn't grow a conscience, and over time, he was still a hardened Terminator.
Yes.
This, he develops a conscience. So I feel that Terminator Genesis did the T-800 better than this film because he was considered the Guardian, and he was still a T-800 right the way through.
Yeah.
He had a bit of a bit of fatherhood at the very end where he said, "Take care of my Sarah." Like, I get that, but he's had years to develop that kind of learning ability. But to develop develop a conscience, have a dog and a family, and a draping business. He could have done anything.
Yeah,
he could have I don't know.
Not only that, Carl. That's the name you pick, Arnie. That's the name that's gonna. Oh no, but anyway, least favorite. As many as there are, least favorite part of the movie.
Least favorite part of the movie.
I know mine. Please don't be mine.
Well, I'm not going... I've already said, the best and worst being the opening scene.
Of course.
Other than that...
There's one moment that just,
I leaned over to you and went, ugh.
Yes. I think
when Linda Hamilton, the first words that comes out of her mouth, "I'll be back."
Oh, yes. But leaning into that, my least favorite moment, when Arnie turns to Sarah and says, "I won't be back."
Oh, yeah.
I know. I'm like, you are forcing this.
Yeah.
There's nothing natural about this story anymore.
As much as I loved Sarah Connor's character and Linda Hamilton playing this character, there was no need to shoehorn that in.
Yeah.
Just like these comedy-driven scenes with Arnold Schwarzenegger being the T-800 and playing off those jokes. There's no need for any of that.
That's right.
When did you laugh in Terminator 1?
No, that's right. Exactly. They've lost the fact that these are supposed to be movies, not fucking pop culture references.
Yeah, that's correct.
They're not meant to be niche, you know, they're not meant to be funny on themselves or aware of themselves.
You know, another thought I had about this film in particular is that all of these reboots and remakes and sequels to older franchises that we know and love over the years are just bad covers of their originals.
Yeah. That's a very good way of putting that.
They're just trying to tap into what was great once upon a time and it doesn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah, that's right. And
so, if Hollywood, if you're listening, coming from a genuine Terminator fan, if you want to rebuild the franchise, lessen the budget to $50 million and make a horror film. If you want to try and if you want to try and retread a Terminator franchise, go off T1. Look at what made that one so great and try that again.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But
it's hard to be original these days, so just try that again.
I feel like 185 million. Is that what?
Yes,
roughly?
And it's set to lose $100 million in terms of the box office
overall. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think currently it stands at 123 million. It's been out for almost 2 weeks at this stage.
Yep.
Man, that's bad.
This franchise is terminated.
Yes, it won't be back.
It won't be back.
Yeah, no. This movie pretzel rating. Oh wait. Yeah, no, I said my least favorite moment.
Yep.
My least favorite moment was paying to see this.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I couldn't even shut my brain off because they kept referencing themselves.
Yeah. And
it just turned me off. But pretzel rating, man, it's stale.
Yeah, it's a stale.
I don't want it.
That's exactly all right. So, if you have a legitimate pretzel, this is a stale pretzel.
Exactly,
because it's a stale franchise.
Yeah, but I didn't even get to bite into it because I could on the table and know that it was stale.
Yeah.
So I really shouldn't have even nibbled it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been Two's Company, Three's a Podcast. We greatly appreciate everybody listening, and that's been our review discussion of Terminator: Dark Fate. We hope there's some people out here who enjoyed the film. And,
of course.
I just hope that there's going to be a positive revival one day, but it doesn't look like it.
When I say I regret paying to see it, I still love going to the cinemas. Make sure you support your local cinemas. It doesn't matter if it's a good or a bad film. It's always a good time. Okay?
Absolutely.
So, I've never walked out with a bad taste in my mouth.
That's right. But
unless
everybody...
the popcorn's shit, but it never is at Glendale.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Two's Company Three's a podcast. We are also known on Instagram and Twitter as @2C3Pod nowadays.
That's right.
So give it a Google and you'll find all of our stuff across the internet. So,
we're available, of course, every week, twice a week on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Big Summer Blowout. If you want to send us an email, twoscompany3podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on certain things. If you want us to review a film of yours, a favorite of yours, let us know. Drop us a line.
I would be all for that. Absolutely. Drop us a line at twoscompany3podcast@gmail.com. You just said that?
Yep.
That's right. And I can't remember what part we're up to now because we don't.
Anyway.
We don't rehearse. Why did we rehearse this last bit?
Anyway.
I'm trying to read the notes. They're not there.
My name is Dylan, as always, along with my co-host,
Mitchell. And we are Two's Company and you
are the podcast.
Fuck. Why do we rehearse? My notes don't say that. Subscribe on every platform. Email. Then it says blah, blah, blah. Thanks for listening. I got lost. You hate me talking at this point, don't you?
I don't care.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
You look very angry. Doesn't hear YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I missed at the beginning of the shows?
What?
When you used to be able to catch me off guard. But now somebody has to do the camera and the laptop.
Yeah.
So you never catch me off guard anymore. So that little... No! Ah, fucking shit!